We're on an adventure, driving as far east as our rusty, not-so-trusty van will allow. Join us, Lucy and Ben, on our journey around the hot springs, remote villages and undiscovered lands of Europe, Turkey and beyond. In this episode, we enter the country of Georgia through its most hectic border crossing, get caught in a fierce storm, discover the nation's beautiful wild hot springs, and make some winter upgrades to our van.
So you might remember from our last video here in Turkey that our time here ended a little bit more abruptly than we had hoped for. And long story short, we nearly lost everything on a mountainside.
So after that ordeal, we decided that we needed somewhere to just rest and get ourselves sorted for a few days. So we booked this place on hotels.com and turned up to find a very confused owner. Turns out that the previous owners had still left this house on hotels.com and it was no longer a guest house. It's now an artist's residence, but thankfully the super lovely couple that run it actually took us in and let us stay here for a few days anyway. So we've had the most relaxing couple of days here and enjoying the beautiful architecture of this house. It's a 280-year-old Konak building built by the ethnic Laz people of the region in an Armenian style. And it is absolutely beautiful.
What I particularly liked when we arrived is that the guy who runs this place said that he could just spot that we were weary travellers and needed somewhere to stay. And he's actually hitchhiked across the entire country before. So he said that travellers just kind of understand each other and they can see when another traveller needs a bit of help. And we well and truly did. We were broken after that experience. So this place has been an absolute saviour and respite for us before we tackle our next adventure in Georgia.
Çalışma ekibimiz var. Dönüştürülebilir seyahatler yapar. Yıllardır tematik festivaller yapan bir ekibimiz var. O ekiple beraber bu evi bulduk. Aslında biz eski bir köy okulu ya da metruk bir bina arıyoruz. Dönüştürmek ve sanata kavuşturmak çocuklarla, yetişkinlerle işte yapabilmek için. Geldik gerçekten her yeri muhteşem, her kapısında ayrı bir sihir, ayrı bir ruh barındıran, gerçekten üzerine büyük hayaller kurulmuş bir ev gördük.
Now an artist's residence, this 280-year-old building was abandoned for around a century before almost being demolished, but it was saved at the last minute when the municipality realised it was a historic monument. Its owners, unable to sell or demolish it, decided to restore it, a process that took 3 years and cost over $1 million. This Konak house was built in a traditional style, with Laz stonework making up the ground floor and Armenian woodwork making the upper level. It was the distinctive Laz engravings on the fireplaces that saved the building from demolition. And their unique style of craft is visible in many areas of the house, which would have originally been inhabited by a gentleman placed to spread the messages of both Lazism and Islam. Time has stood still in this house, while all around it life has moved on, making a stand against the tide of modern development. The Laz people are an ethnic minority who inhabit the Black Sea region of Turkey. Although their language and culture were almost eradicated at one point, it has seen a resurgence in recent years. Our host is one of the people celebrating Laz culture today, teaching children traditional songs as a way of keeping the language alive. He was keen to show us some Black Sea music, songs of lovers separated by distance across the vast north coast of Turkey.
So here we are, our final few moments in Turkey. We're about to cross into a brand new country, Georgia, and we are so excited.
We're not really leaving Turkey by choice. It's such an amazing country. I think we could just spend forever here exploring, but unfortunately our visas are about to run out. But nonetheless, we are extremely excited to be entering Georgia. This is a country that we've wanted to visit for so long now, years in fact, and we're finally getting the opportunity.
So we know nothing about this place, and we've kind of done that on purpose because we love to go into a country with a completely open mind about what to expect. The only thing I really know is that we share a flag with them. England has stolen their flag, copied it. That's all I really know. It's really exciting now. We're seeing countries like lorries from countries like Uzbekistan and Tajikistan and Kazakhstan, and these places share borders with Afghanistan and China. We are really feeling like we are so far from home now, and it's just really exciting for us. This is kind of like we're bridging the gap now between Europe and Asia, definitely, and this is giving us a real taster for where our adventures kind of want to lead us in the future. So for now, I think we're done. Goodbye Turkey, on to Georgia we go.
Yes.
We'll see you when we get there.
It was only a short drive to the border, but we must have passed thousands of waiting lorries, making the new Brexit queues at Dover look like a Friday night McDonald's drive-through in comparison. Unlike a drive-through though, there wasn't a meal at the end of this line, unless you count the meal the border guards were making of getting people into Georgia.
Where am I going? Oh, here. Here. This is so confusing.
That says, oh yeah, cars and buses this side, lorries that side.
Good lord.
Whoa. It's just pick a spot. Oh my goodness. The map is blank.
The roads literally end.
Oh no. Okay.
I can't reverse, mate. Yeah, I can't.
I think some kind of security, look. He's
Where?
asked them to reverse as well.
Kanka, bu karavan.
Caravan.
Caravan.
Ha, karavansa gel böyle.
Here?
Yeah.
What on earth, mate? Where am I going?
Here's the sat nav for Georgia. It's blank.
Lucy.
Me.
Yeah, me. Okay.
Okay, we swapped round driving, and Ben has gone off with his passport to try and get it stamped, because apparently at this border passengers have to go through separately to the driver, and I'm the named driver on the van and the registered owner, so I'm the one driving it through the border solo, and I don't know when and if I'll see Ben again. And it's getting dark already, in there like an hour. Love a chaotic border.
45 minutes now in the cold and the rain. Why didn't I bring a coat with me? There's still no sign of Lucy. God knows where she is. This is the most ludicrous border I've ever crossed. Why would they make all the foot passengers go through, well, on foot, leaving us all out here in the cold and the dark in the middle of winter? It makes no sense. So yeah, keep you posted. Hopefully Lucy comes out sometime tonight. Getting a little bit chilly. Pretty cold and fed up now. Still no sign of Lucy. This is just, I don't know, losing the wheel a little bit now.
We're in! We're in Georgia!
Now, man! So we have been in Georgia now for just over a week, and what a week it's been. The border crossing was chaotic. It took hours and hours and hours. That evening we drove for another 2 hours in the rain, in the dark.
Torrential rain, not just
torrential rain to a park up we found on Park for Night. We ended up leaving that place at 1:30 in the morning because we were worried it was going to get flooded. It was next to a river and the river was rising quickly in this rain, so we ended up seeking salvation at a cross, a big illuminated cross on a mountainside. It was quite a surreal place to be.
Symbolic, wasn't it?
Then for the next 5 days, it proceeded to be hurricane force wind every single day, and it was a real struggle. We were terrified for the van, to be quite frank with you. We were just like trying to go from place to place and basically just surviving and not really seeing a whole lot of stuff. We did try to stay at some hotels, and in fact we did stay at one hotel, but so many of them were closed due to power cuts and having no water because of the storm. So we were really up against it for the first week of being here, to say the least.
It was 100km/h winds consistently for 5 days, and there were trees down in the road. We saw a van that had been crushed by a falling tree, and we didn't get a wink of sleep because it was like being on a boat in a storm. The amount the wind was rocking the van was awful.
So needless to say, we haven't filmed much yet since we've been here. We've just been trying to get by and make sure that we're okay and the van's okay. And during that week, it was kind of hard to forget why we actually wanted to come here in the first place. But I think we've just about remembered.
Yeah. So one of our reasons for wanting to visit Georgia originally was this documentary series by our favourite explorer called Levison Wood, and it was from Russia to Iran, and he trekked the length of the Caucasus, and Georgia was on his route. And I think it's really that planted this seed in us of wanting to visit this area of the world, the Caucasus Mountains, and this completely different place on the far other side of Europe to anything we've known before. And one of the other main reasons that we've really been looking forward to visiting Georgia is that it's a former Soviet republic, which means that a lot of the older generations here speak Russian. And that's significant because we've actually spent the past year both learning to speak Russian, because we feel like it's really going to help us in our future travels through all the former Soviet Union countries that we plan to visit. It will be amazing to be able to have a shared language with people, to go and meet villagers and have conversations with them. So it's my 4th language I'm learning, which means I've got a bit of a leg up on Ben, but it's only Ben's 2nd language. He doesn't speak any languages other than English. So we've thrown you right into the deep end, haven't we?
It's a tough one, you know, a whole new alphabet, but many people here also don't speak the language, and we've got to be very careful at the moment because of what's going on in this part of the world. It's quite a sensitive topic, and a lot of people won't be happy if you start speaking that language, but then again, it gives us a really good leg up in these remote mountain villages where lots of the people that still live there are elderly, and they will be able to speak to us in some form of Russian. So it's going to be a massive, massive help.
So give me your best Russian phrase.
Где моя лошадь?
Меня зовут Lucy, я люблю горячие источники и кошки.
Show off. So what have our impressions been of this country so far? Well, apart from every day really struggling to not lose the van, not get flooded out, not get blown over in the wind, we haven't seen a great deal. We have seen lots and lots of damaged cars on the road. Now, I do wonder what the police actually do here, because we've seen people overtake horrifically right in front of the police, cutting us up, nearly having head-on collisions. We've seen vehicles here in the villages that don't have bumpers, taxis and buses included, have missing body parts.
I think it's like a fashion thing here to not have a bumper. It's absolutely bizarre.
You just wouldn't get into a taxi with no bumpers, would you? And smashed up.
I mean, just when you think you found the country with the craziest drivers, and then we come to Georgia, and my God, the drivers here are just mental. I think we're going to be losing a bumper at some point in our time here.
Almost certainly. Almost certainly.
Another thing that really struck me as well is all of the abandoned buildings, so many of them, not just these kind of like concrete Soviet style buildings, but also many classic Georgian farmhouses, rural houses, I want to say, that are absolutely beautiful wooden constructions with really ornate windows and balconies. They're a really unique type of house, but so many of them are abandoned. It's really sad to see. And the final crazy thing about Georgia go on.
There's all the animals on the road. There's animals everywhere. It seems like one giant farmyard, which is just completely full of free-range pigs and horses and cows and
chickens.
Animals everywhere, and you constantly have to be careful, not only of the maniac driving, you also have to be constantly swerving the animals that are in the road. So it really is a whole bag of excitement here.
Whole another experience.
And we can't wait to start this journey and start showing you some of these really cool places. So we have got big plans here. It's going to entirely depend on the weather and whether we can get some decent winter tyres and snow chains, because the majority of this country, apart from the lowlands that we're in right now, is going to be under snow and really, really cold. So we do plan to get a tiny wood burner, some decent snow tyres because these are useless, thanks Maxis, and some snow chains.
And then we'll be fully equipped to head into some of the most beautiful parts of Georgia. But I think while we're still here in the lowlands, we're going to focus on exploring Georgia's beautiful hot springs, which promise to be pretty amazing, pretty wild and unique, I think. So that's kind of going to be the focus of this video, is showing you the hot springs in the lowlands. And then in future videos, we're going to be moving up into the higher altitudes, all being well.
All being well, famous last words there. So we are actually parked up at this hot spring now. We're going to go and have a look. It's really, really windy and really bitterly cold out there. So I hope this is going to be worth it, and I hope you enjoy this place. So we're going to go now, and we'll see you there. As we mentioned already, it is really windy out here this morning. It's bitterly cold. It's blowing from the east, so from Siberia basically, but this water is absolutely perfect temperature. If you just make sure your shoulders are underneath it, you can just about pretend that it's a nice morning.
Yeah, the only thing about this pool is it is quite smelly. It's so smelly, in fact, that we can smell it coming in through the back doors of our van, which is parked about 200 metres away.
It's eggy.
Pungent.
Yeah.
But it's something that I noticed in Georgia that's quite interesting, is they don't tend to refer to the pools here as thermal pools or hot springs. They call them sulphur pools, and that goes for the city of Tbilisi as well. Everywhere they're named sulphur pools, and so I'm imagining that most of the hot springs in Georgia probably smell the same as this one, which is really good for your skin. Sulphur's supposed to be really good for anti-aging. It's not so good if you want to keep the bedding in your van smelling nice and fresh.
No, it's really not.
Everywhere.
What I really love about this place is we're in the lowlands of Georgia, so it's relatively mild compared to the rest of the country, and we can see that because all around us are snowy mountains.
It's the most beautiful scenery, isn't it?
It's stunning, you know, and you've got all this livestock just free roaming. It's beautiful. And as you just saw, we've got our friend over here This dog, he has been with us the whole time we've been at this place. Really, really loyal to us. He's been guarding the van at night. Bless him, it's freezing cold and he's shivering. We've been spending so much money on this dog, on food before now. Every day we're going to the supermarket and we're buying him some nice cuts of meat and all sorts of stuff, so he's well treated.
But he thinks we've left him, and every time we come back he goes crazy. He's so happy to see us again.
Does a little happy dance. It's beautiful. It's a real struggle for us to not adopt all these dogs, and I know people say to us, why don't you just take one of these dogs home with you? But honestly, we would. It's just not that easy, especially when we're so far from the UK, and we don't think it's really fair on the animal because we're always out of the van, we're always doing stuff. But one day we're going to have a sanctuary for these dogs, and we're going to have a whole farm full of stray dogs and cats. We will be those people one day. So this place is stunning. We're just going to enjoy a nice morning soak. It's so invigorating walking over here in this bitter wind, I tell you what. If you're feeling sleepy when you leave the van, you're not feeling sleepy when you get into this hot spring. We're going to have a nice soak here, and then we're going to work out what on earth we're doing for the rest of this video.
The Dikhashkho Geyser has been flowing here in the middle of these fields for over a century. The water erupts from the ground at 40 degrees, a perfect temperature for bathing. And the mineral content has helped to create the unique, smooth-sided edges of the pool. The water is high in sulphur, sodium and carbon dioxide, which are known to cure skin diseases and ease symptoms of arthritis. The thermal water drains into the nearby Rioni River, which flows all the way from the Racha Mountains to the Black Sea. We left the thermal spring with lifted spirits and renewed excitement after the weeks of bad weather we'd endured. Now we could finally begin our adventure in Georgia and experience some of its charming countryside along the way. Our time in the temperate lowlands of western Georgia was coming to an end, but we still had one more stop to make first.
So we've just arrived at our final stop for this video, and it is spectacular. We've actually been here before, and we came here to hide from the wind, and we really wanted to film this place, but we just couldn't do it at the time because it was crazy, crazy wind here. So to this side of me is a crystal clear river, which hopefully we are going to take a dip in, and this side of me is really, really hot water coming straight out the ground. It is incredibly hot, too hot to touch, but just you wait and see how it cools down in a minute. It's spectacular, and hopefully we can have a bathe. Goodness me, this place is unreal. So last time we were here, I didn't actually come down here because it was just nasty weather, I knew we won't be able to go in, but my goodness, this water is so hot. I'm stood about 5 meters away from it now, and that is like an oven behind me. You've got this massive travertine wall created by this huge body of thermal water that's falling over the edge of this hill. It is phenomenal, and I really wonder how we're going to be able to bathe in this.
I measured the source temperature up there at about 78 degrees. The thermometer just shot up. So by the time it's filtered over this waterfall, I'm guessing it's going to be just under 50. I'm hoping it's not over 50 because that is like burn territory. But we haven't had a shower in a week or more. And I'm
Don't tell them that.
desperate to get under some nice hot water.
You said to me I'd be able to wash my hair under that.
Yeah.
I'm going to burn my scalp off if I go under there. What are you trying to get me to do?
Well, luckily there's some other options here. It's not just the waterfall. You can actually bathe in these pools over here by the river, and the really cool thing is that you actually can dig your own pool to the right depth and route the water to kind of cool or heat it up depending on how hot you want it.
Nice.
That's the theory anyway. We're going to give it a go. Brought the shovel down.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it sounds good.
No way. No way.
Too hot, is it?
It's burning my feet. I've got to get off it. No.
To be fair, when I came down last week, it was really windy, so it had cooled the water quite a lot. That is... I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah, go on then.
It's hot.
Oh, you're not going to wash your hair? Don't fancy washing your hair in there?
No,
Nah.
I'm good.
You're going to pass?
Ooh, it's like hot rain. Oh my goodness. My foot is burning. Yeah, I don't think I can get under there. Ow! So hot!
You're absolutely nuts, man.
How hot do you reckon it is?
It's like tea temperature, you know?
I've seen these photos of people sitting under this. Like, how are they doing that? Some of it's okay, and every now and then you get a bit that really burns. You want to go in there?
No, no, I'm alright. I'm going to go dig myself a pool.
Dig yourself a hole.
So Lucy didn't believe me how hot it was. She tried, and I'm pretty sure she's red and burnt now. I did try to warn her. So I think now I'm going to go and dig myself a hot spring pool. Never done this before. Every single place we go is very unique. I mean, just look at the steam coming off that thing. Why does anyone think it was a good idea to go in there?
I burnt my foot.
You burnt your foot?
Yeah, my foot hurts.
I'm not surprised. Right, there's actually some pools here already made, so I'm going to try these out first because I really can't be bothered to make my own actually. Oh no, that's too hot. Shit! It's too hot. How do people sit in this? Right, here is one pool. I will admit to you, it doesn't look great. I can't really test this properly now because I've just burnt my foot in another pool. It's just so hot. Just so unbelievably hot. I don't know how anyone is sat in these things. This one's good actually. It's shallow, but it's okay.
Fortunately, I brought the shovel.
Right, this one here is looking good.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Is that a no?
It's okay, just needs a bit of easing in.
Like, people say to mix it with the river water, yeah, but the river's all the way over there. What about that one, right on the edge? There's one right there. Should we try that?
That is a good starting temperature, I think, while we work ourselves up to something a bit hotter, yeah.
Okay.
We need to get the probe on this and find out.
I can't really tell now because I actually burnt my feet so badly.
Yeah, same. Okay, let's get digging.
What's the verdict?
It's hot. It's very hot. It's like when you run your bath a little bit too hot, but you're determined to get into it anyway, kind of temperature. It's okay. I mean, I'm in. I don't look burnt, do I? Oh God, it's good. It's good. It's good. Oh, it's nice. I mean, it's been a long time since we found a hot spring as hot as this one. Sometimes you need it to be really, really hot to just fully reset all your muscles and everything, all your aches and pains. Oh, there's only one thing left to do here now after an incredibly hot soak, and that is this. My legs are a little bit red. I don't know if that's the hot or the cold or both at once, but it's seriously red. What are you doing? Why are you getting in like that?
It's so hot.
You look like you've just withered.
How does anyone enjoy this? I want to be hot, but not this hot. Oh my word.
How hot is it really? 46? That looks like a 47. Wow, that's one of the hottest that you can possibly stand to bathe in, I would say. After it's come all the way down this stream, all the way through these pools and off that river, it's still 46 degrees. How are you finding it, Ben?
Hot. I don't feel particularly dignified here. Just beached on this sand. My legs are half burnt. Look. I look like a drumstick lolly.
It's a very flattering shot, I promise.
Thanks.
You know it's good. Gets the adrenaline pumping.
Oh yeah. Right. No hesitation. Jesus, that's cold. Oh.
Good?
No.
Brilliant.
Oh my god.
Invigorating.
The wells of Nokalakevi were likely dug in Soviet times, although any attempt to build a bathhouse here was abandoned. Instead, water flows at 78 degrees from the source, rich in hydrogen sulfide and calcium carbonate, which forms this beautiful white travertine waterfall. Legend has it that a pregnant woman jumped into the water here to escape from an enemy army, but perished and turned into stone. The spring is colloquially known as Dedamoka, or pregnant mother.
So that is it for this video. We have shown you around the free and wild hot springs of Georgia, and they have been beautiful. A real good start to our journey. The weather is finally better, but it is getting a lot colder. Since you last saw us at the hot spring, we've driven 2 hours east towards Tbilisi, the capital city of Georgia, and we have made some winterization upgrades on the van, as we mentioned at the beginning of this video. So just quickly, I'm going to show you what we've done so far. So first up, we've got some nice tyres. These are really good, really deep tread on those. As you can see, they are not all season tyres. They are most certainly winter tyres, and they're the best ones that we could buy. So we're not messing around now. We've got really good tyres. We've got 4 new tyres on the back, and it's looking good. The other upgrade we've made so far is this wood burner behind us. Now, I know that all the health and safety crew out there are going to say this is a terrible idea, and we know it's probably not the smartest, but we are desperate for some warmth. We really need this. Chinese diesel heaters are not readily available here. So let me just show you inside what Lucy's doing. It's a little bit complicated because we can't now use the side door. We have to now enter the van through the driver's door and climb into the cab. Rather than watching me struggle, I'm just gonna pass this to Lucy and she can show you what's gone in there.
Hey! So I'm just in the process of lighting up the wood burner for tonight. Luckily we're in a really good area that's got lots of nice wood all by the river, so we've just been gathering that. So I'm just getting that on. Still getting used to the whole fire lighting process. And the theory's very simple really. We've got wood burner here, a tile here and a tile here to protect anything meltable, flammable around the edges. And then the flue just goes up here and out the window through this plate. This is our first test run of it. We have no idea if it's going to melt anything, if it's going to be far away from things, but it just felt like a necessity, didn't it? We needed to do something for some kind of heat source.
Definitely did. So this setup actually only cost us about 30-40 quid max in total. It was crazy cheap. It is not the best quality wood burner. It's made of very thin aluminium, which does mean that the heat will not last. Once it's out, it will cool down pretty quickly, but that's also a bonus for us in case we need to get up and leave, change this setup, get it all packed down quickly if we need to leave somewhere. So it's got its pros and cons. This metal sheet here cost us about 2 quid, I think, maybe 3 quid.
3 quid for him to fabricate.
This guy
that.
just like eyed it up, cut that hole out without measuring anything, and it's the exact fit of the flue. So yeah, he's done a good job. We're just going to see if it works now, you know. The van's now going to smell of smoke every day. We are going to smell of smoke. It's a bit more of a crusty lifestyle now we're living, but it's good fun. This is part of the adventure. I can see snow on the hills around us now. We're definitely getting close to the colder climates. It's really exciting.
Let's have a look on the progress of the fire lighting. Oh yeah, off it goes, look. And these little hatches are quite cool, although not entirely smoke safe, but you can actually take this off and put your kettle on there or your pan or whatever. We can cook directly on the wood burner using free heat source. So it's something I've always wanted to do. I've always been so excited to have a wood burner, haven't I? It's never been possible before now, but we've made it happen.
We've made it happen. So this now is really all we need to do. We've got the wood burner, we've got the winter tyres. We're going to head to the capital city tomorrow, where we're going to get some snow chains, and then we are ready to roll. So for the last bit of our time in Georgia, we're going to hopefully do a couple of videos going way up into the snowy mountains. It's going to get cold. It's going to get real wintry. We're very excited. We feel a lot more prepared now. But we're just going to see what happens. It is still the dead of winter. It's very unpredictable. This is what the mountains are like. It's very exciting. But anyway, we hope you've enjoyed the hot spring video of Georgia. We're just rambling now. Really excited to see if this works. And we will show you a bit more of our winter setup on the next video. Bye.
Cheers.
Join us next time on our journey as we get a taste of Georgia's ancient tradition of polyphonic singing. We get invited to a supra, a traditional Georgian feast, before heading into the Caucasus Mountains to witness a unique and mystical Sufi ceremony. Finally, our search for polyphonic singing brings us back to Tbilisi, Georgia's capital, where we meet a group of young singers working to keep traditional folk music alive.
Should we just sit and drink some tea just for a couple of clips?
Gone. It's gone, mate.
Or just look next.
Ready? No, sorry. I'm gonna be on camera. Doggy. I've lost you. I've simply lost you. It's too steamy.
My foot. That's a pure burn. Ow. Sympathy.
Can't hide it.
For behind-the-scenes videos and to see the reality of making a TV programme and travelogue series, join us over on Patreon.